Today we will study about the replication of DNA. The term replication has been derived from Latin word replicatus, which means to repeat or to form copies. Replication of the DNA is a process during which new copies of the DNA are formed. Today we will study that how the process of replication is done. So let's see that. DNA replication is the biological process of producing two identical replicas of DNA from one original DNA molecule. DNA replication occurs in all living organisms and acting as the most essential part for biological inheritance. To explain the process of replication, three models have been proposed. First one is semi-conservative model of replication. Second is conservative model of replication. And the third one is dispersive model of replication. A part of this diagram is explaining semi-conservative model of DNA replication. In semi-conservative model of DNA replication, the two strands of the parental DNA, they separate. Each acts as a model or mold for the synthesis of new DNA strands. In this replication, primary structure has been conserved, whereas secondary structure has been disrupted. While the B part of this diagram is explaining conservative model of DNA replication. This model states that the parental double helix would remain intact and generate DNA copies consisting of entirely new nucleotides. While the C part, it is explaining dispersive model of DNA replication. According to this model, parental DNA would become completely disrupted, and each strand of all the daughter molecules would be a mixture of old and new DNA nucleotides. The process of replication is completed in 3 steps. The first step is the opening of double helix and separation of the DNA strands. The second step is the priming of the template strand, while the third step is the assembly of the new DNA segments. During separation, the two strands of the DNA double helix uncoil at a specific location with specific nucleotide sequences at one or more sites on the same DNA molecule, called the origin of replication. Here this diagram, it is showing 3 replication origins. These are the areas where specific sequences are repeated, which are identified by the initiator protein, and then here from this point the replication it will start. Here you can see that the replication, it has started at these 3 points. These 3 points, they are called origins of replication. Process of replication requires initiator protein along with the helicase enzyme, primase enzyme, DNA polymerase 1, DNA polymerase 2 and DNA polymerase 3 in the case of prokaryotes, while in the case of eukaryotes, DNA polymerase alpha, DNA polymerase delta and DNA polymerase epsilon. Along with this, DNA clamp, sliding clamp or beta clamp it is required. DNA gyrase enzyme, DNA stabilizing proteins, DNA ligase enzyme, nucleotides for the synthesis of primer, nucleotides for the synthesis of new DNA. The primer, this is basically a short sequence of RNA. So here the nucleotides of the RNA, they will be required, and then the nucleotides for the synthesis of new DNA, they will be of deoxyribose type. They will be required for the synthesis of new daughter strands. We will discuss all these requirements during our discussion in the next slides. In Escherichia coli, which is basically a prokaryote, DNA polymerase 3 is a true replicating enzyme. DNA polymerase 3 is a dimer. It is 10 times larger and far more complex in its structure. This dimer, it is made up of two identical monomers. Now this is the first monomer, and this is the second monomer of the DNA polymerase 3. So the two identical monomers, they are making this dimer molecule of DNA polymerase 3. Each monomer, it is containing three subunits: alpha subunit, epsilon subunit, and beta 2 subunit. The alpha subunit of the DNA polymerase 3 catalyzes the addition of nucleotide from 5' to 3' direction in new strand of the DNA. As you know that the DNA strand, it is made up of deoxyribonucleotides. Here one deoxyribonucleotide, it is shown in this diagram. This area, it is showing deoxyribose sugar. This deoxyribose sugar, it is having 5 carbons. This is the carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3, carbon number 4, and carbon number 5. Now with the carbon number 3, hydroxyl group is attached. Now this end of this nucleotide, it is called 3' end of the nucleotide. While the fifth carbon, where the phosphate group is attached, this area of the nucleotide, it is called 5' end of the nucleotide. A new strand of the DNA, it will be constructed when many nucleotides, they will join with one another. Now how these nucleotides, they will join with this first nucleotide? At the 3' end, new nucleotide, it will be attached, and this work is done by alpha subunit. Alpha subunit, each time it will add at the 3' end of the nucleotide a new nucleotide. So the movement of the DNA polymerase 3, or the direction of the DNA polymerase 3 while it is going to attach nucleotides in a newly constructing DNA strand, it will be from 5' to 3' direction. DNA polymerase 3, it will move from 5' to 3' direction. Each time new nucleotide, it will be added at the 3' end. The two nucleotides, they will join with one another. Again it will move further. Again at the 3' end, it will add one more nucleotide, and the process, it will be continued. The second subunit of the DNA polymerase 3 is epsilon. This epsilon subunit carries on proofreading. It will check either the correct nucleotide it is added or not, while this beta 2 subunit, it will bind tightly with the DNA template strand for the purpose of replication and for the correct addition of the new nucleotides. DNA polymerase 3 progressively threads the DNA through the enzyme complex, moving at a rapid rate, some 1,000 nucleotides per second. DNA polymerase 3 has two features. One of the features of the DNA polymerase 3 is that it can add nucleotides only to a chain of nucleotides that is already paired with the parent strand. It means DNA polymerase 3 is not able to start replication. It will add new nucleotides to already existing chain of nucleotides which is paired with the parental strand. The second feature of the DNA polymerase 3 is that it can add new nucleotides only at the 3' end of the DNA strand, as I have explained it in the previous slide. This means that replication always proceeds from 5' to 3' direction on a growing DNA strand. Replication starts in two steps. The first step is uncoiling of DNA, and this is done with the help of initiator protein and helicase enzyme. Initiator protein unwinds a short stretch of the DNA double helix, while the protein or enzyme helicase attaches to and breaks apart the hydrogen bonds between the bases on the DNA strand, thereby pulling apart the two strands. As the helicase moves along the DNA molecule, it continues breaking these hydrogen bonds and separating the two polynucleotide chains. On the other hand, a third protein or enzyme, DNA gyrase, is an essential bacterial enzyme that catalyzes the ATP dependent negative supercoiling of double strand closed circular DNA. The enzyme causes negative supercoiling of the DNA or relaxes positive supercoils. Now how this work it will be done, let's see in the next slide. Here you can see this is the helicase enzyme. This helicase enzyme during replication it will moves forward, and during its movement it will break the hydrogen bonds which are existing between the two polynucleotide chains. Helicase enzyme for this purpose utilizes ATP. This is an ATP dependent reaction. Helicase it will help in this way in the separation of the two parental strands, and then these both the parental strands they will act as a template for the synthesis of two daughter strands. Here in the second diagram, see here topoisomerase it is shown. This is basically gyrase enzyme. This gyrase enzyme it is attached at a distance from the helicase enzyme. This is the fork of the replication. Here the replication process it is going on after the unwinding of the two DNA strands. The gyrase enzyme it is attached at a distance from the helicase. Here it will cause negative supercoiling. It will prevent the coiling of the DNA molecule once it has been uncoiled by the initiator protein. The second step to start the replication process, this is primer formation, and during primer formation when helicase separates the strands, then the second enzyme primase briefly attaches to each strand and assembles a foundation at which replication can begin. As we have already studied that DNA polymerase 3 it is not having the ability to start the replication, so this enzyme primase will help the DNA polymerase 3. It will start the replication and it will make a foundation, that is a small sequence of RNA nucleotides. This foundation is called primer, which is a short sequence of about 10 RNA nucleotides complementary to the parental DNA template. Here in this diagram you can see that the primase enzyme it has started the replication. Now this red area it is showing the primer in these newly constructing strands. So the primase, it is constructed, the replication, it is started by the primase, and later on the DNA polymerase, it will add the new nucleotides.